After the chaos of the Bakusquad's confession, you thought things might settle down. You were wrong. If anything, it made things even more intense. The competition continued, but little by little you started to notice one person standing out. Bakugou. It wasn't immediate. It wasn't something you consciously decided. It just kind of happened. Maybe it was the way he always seemed to notice when you were tired, shoving a water bottle or a protein bar at you without a word. Or how he never coddled you, and he always made sure to have your back. Or maybe it was the way he looked at you, like he was trying to figure you out, like you were something so damn important. And then there were the small things. How he always made sure to sit next to you, even if he pretended it was coincidence. How he, quote, hated when Kaminari or Sero got too touchy with you. How you laughed at his grumpiness and his ears would turn a little bit red. You weren't sure when it started, but at some point, you weren't just friends. You just found yourself looking at him, looking for him, and that was terrifying. Number 1. Denial is a river in Egypt. You weren't ready to admit it. Not to yourself, and definitely not to him. So you did what any rational person would do. You ignored it. Duh. You still laughed at Kaminari's took up lines. You still let Mina drag you into ridiculous situations. And you still sparred with Kaminari, Kirishima, and Sarah. But when Bakugou was around, he tried so hard to act normal that it was probably less normal. And you definitely noticed. Oi, he grunted after an afternoon. The hell's your problem? You blinked at him. What? He narrowed his eyes. You've been acting weird. He forced to laugh. I have no idea what you're on about. His frown deepened, but for a second it looked like he was about to say something. But then Kirishima called your name and you very conveniently used that as an escape. Cowardly? Yes. But effective? Also yes. Number 2. The breaking point. Unfortunately, you could only run from your feelings for so long. It happened after a particularly brutal training section. Everyone else had left, but you stayed behind, trying to shake off the frustration after a bad fight. Bakugou had destroyed you in a sparring match earlier, and while you didn't usually mind losing, something about this one just got to you. So you kept going. Drills, punches, kicks, anything to work off the frustration. You didn't even notice Bakugou was still there until you missed a step and nearly collapsed. A firm hand grabbed your wrist before you could hit the ground. The hell you're doing? He snapped, his grip tight but not painful. You're exhausted. You tried to shake him off. I'm fine. He didn't let go. No, you're not. Your jaw clenched. Why do you care? That made him really mad. His grip tightened and he yanked you forward so that you had no choice but to look at him. His red eyes burned with something intense. Because it pisses me off, okay? Watching you push yourself around like that, like you got something to prove. His voice was already low, almost a growl. You already proved it, dumbass. You're strong. Your heart stopped. For a moment, neither of you moved, and then you swallowed hard, muttering let me go. Bakugou hesitated, but then slowly, he did. But he didn't step back. You don't have to be the best all the time, he muttered. Ain't nobody here gonna think less of you. He looked away. That include you? You asked. Silence. Then, after a minute, softer than you'd ever heard him, he responds. Yeah. And suddenly, it was so much harder to pretend you didn't have feelings for him. 3. The realization. After that night, things changed. Bakugou wasn't treating you any differently, but you were painfully aware of him now, of how much time he spent near you, of how protective he was of you, of the way that he looked at you when he thought you were paying attention. And the others seemed to notice too. One afternoon, Mina cornered you in the dorm hallway, eyes shining with mischief. "So," she sang out, "when are you going to admit it?" You blinked. What? She scoffed. "That you're totally into Bakugou." You nearly choked. "What?" "Oh, come on." She rolled her eyes. "Yeah, I mean, we're all kind of competing for you, but let's be real, I knew from the start he had the best chance." You opened your mouth and closed it again. "That obvious, huh?" She grinned. "No, but he was being very obvious. That sent your brain into a tailspin." "Bakugou obvious?" Mina just winked. "I'm just saying, if you want to do something about it, I think he'd be very into it." Number 4. The moment. You spent the next week overthinking everything. Should you say something? Should he say something? Would it just mess up your friendship? Or what if you were wrong? That'd be so embarrassing. It was exhausting. Then one night, Bakugou seemed to make the decision for you. You were heading back to the dorms when you spotted him sitting outside, arms crossed, staring at the stars. Normally you'd leave him alone when he was brooding, but this time you sat down beside him. You could?" you asked. He didn't look at you, just scoffed. "Shouldn't I be asking you that?" You sighed. I don't know." The sun stretched on between you. The air was cool and the night was quiet. Then Bakugou let out a slow breath. "This whole thing's stupid." You turned to him. What thing?" He looked at you, and for once, his expression wasn't angry, it was serious. "You know what?" he said, his voice quieter than usual. "I ain't good at this crap, but I know what I want." Your heart raced. "Oh, and what do you want?" you asked softly. He clenched his jaw and exhaled. "You." It wasn't a confession laced with poetry. It wasn't smooth or romantic, but it was Bakugou, and it was honest, and it was raw, and it was real. And somehow it kind of made it perfect. For the first time, you let yourself smile. Took you long enough. His eyes widened, and he grabbed your hand. But you grabbed his first. You'd better not make me regret this, Katsuki. His fingers tightened around yours. Not a damn chance. And just like that, that slow burn finally ignited. Now, this confession had happened, but the words were out there. And now you had no idea what to do next. For one, Bakugou wasn't some love-sick idiot, and he wasn't about to become one just because he admitted he had liked you. He didn't start holding your hand in public. He didn't soften his voice or his words. He definitely didn't go around and announce to the whole school that you were his. But there were some changes. Small ones. Subtle ones. But you noticed. He didn't push your hand away when you reached for it. He let you steal fries from his plate during lunch without threatening to explode you. His eyes softened when he looked at you, even if he was scowling. And somehow, those small gestures meant anything more than a grand gesture ever could. The learning curve. Now, dating Bakugou Katsuki was, not easy. Not because he was cruel, he definitely wasn't. Not because he didn't care, he definitely did. But because this was new for him, and Bakugou hated being bad at literally anything. He didn't always know the right things to say. He didn't always understand when you needed comfort instead of a challenge. Didn't always realize that telling you to just be stronger wasn't actually very helpful when you were ranting about a tough day. But the thing about Bakugou was he tried, and that made all the difference. One night you found him pacing outside your door, hand shoved into his pocket with a face twisted in frustration. What are you doing? You asked, stepping outside. He turned, eyes flicking your way. Thinking, he scoffed at you. Okay. About? A long pause, then finally, he grumbled out. Your breath caught. Oh. He scowled, clearly ignoring himself. I don't get it. I'm supposed to be good at everything, but this, he gestured a hand vaguely between you two. It was hard. You smiled, stepping closer. It's supposed to be. He frowned. Why? I don't know, Bakugou, because it matters. He stilled, and then very slowly reached his hand for yours, fingers brushing tentatively against your palm before gripping it properly. You gotta be patient with me, he muttered. He squeezed his hand. Always. Step 2. The squad noticing. The Bakusquad figured it out fast. Kirishima was the first to catch on. So, you guys, finally figured it out, huh? You and Bakugou both turned to him at the same time. The hell's that mean? Bakugou snapped. Kirishima grinned. Dude, we all knew you had a thing for YN. You weren't exactly subtle. And I mean, I guess we did too, but whatever. He raised an eyebrow. Mina scoffed. Oh, come on, guys. Been acting like a guard dog around you for months. Sarah nodded. Yeah. But last week you literally glared at me for sitting too close to them. Bakugou looked helplessly outraged at that. I did not. Kaminari smirked. Dude, you totally did. Bakugou's eyes twitched violently. Shut the hell up before I blow your head off. You just laughed, squeezing his arm. Relax, Katsuki, it's cute. His face turned red. Shut up. Your first fight. Now, of course, nothing was perfect, but the first fight had happened fast, an explosion waiting to spark. He'd been training with Deku, nothing unusual, nothing even weird. Bakugou hated it. The moment he stepped into this training room and saw you sparring with him, his entire body was tense. And then, when Deku landed a pretty solid hit on you and knocked you to the ground, that was it. How you doing, Deku? He snarled, storming over before he could even get up. Deku blinked. Training? He asked stupidly. You hit them, he scolded. You groaned, pushing yourself off the ground. Bakugou, that's kind of the point of it. He wasn't listening. His glare wasn't locked on Deku, shoulders tense as his fists were clenched, and suddenly it pissed you off. What, you don't think I could stand up for myself? He snapped. His eyes flickered to you still burning. That's not what I... No, seriously, Katsuki. Do you think I'm weak? You cut him off. Silence. Slowly his jaw clenched. It's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? He exhaled. Damn it. He ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. I just don't like seeing you get hurt, okay? Pisses me off. The anger deflated a little bit. Bakugou, I need to fight. I want to be strong. That means you gotta take hits sometimes. His eyes met yours, conflicted. I know, just don't expect me to... You smiled softly. I wouldn't dream of it, Gachan. You knew dating Bakugou was gonna be hard. He was stubborn, and he was rude, and he was mean, and he was scary. But you knew that you could figure it out. And maybe this was the right choice.